The Minnesota Wild just sent a serious message to the rest of the NHL and also those players who are being targeted at the trade deadline after a massive win against the Colorado Avalanche. They proved that the Olympics were not going to be a break that they just looked past. They were ready to roll, and this is a phenomenal sign coming out of the Olympic break with multiple Olympic medalists here in this game playing like they have not missed a beat. We're going to be breaking it down, going over this game, and really how this showed that there is even bigger of a need now than ever for another center, and how this game also makes things much easier for the Minnesota Wild to do so. Like I said, before we do jump into this one, if you haven't already, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to hit the sub button. We're covering everything Minnesota Wild. This is the second video of the day, I guess, technically, even though it is very late. We want to make sure you're getting up to date with everything Minnesota Wild, post games, trades, live streams, videos, every single thing Wild. We're going to have it right here. We're also on the road to 4K. Do us a favor if you haven't already and hit that sub button. We're currently sitting at 3,454 subscribers with the big goal of getting to 4K by the end of the season. I thought it was going to be a challenge, but you guys are absolutely nailing that goal. Keep it up. If you haven't already, be sure to hit the sub button. But going into this game, this was a massive one for the Minnesota Wild. I want to pull up here. We know, of course, this game was one that was going to be very offensive. It was more than I thought. You look at this right now. Colorado had 46 shots on goal, only 2 goals. Only one by, let in by Filip Gustavsson. We're going to get an update on him here in a moment as well, why he left the game. I'm sure you guys probably saw it, but in this one, the Wild really showed that their offensive pressure, the team that they have right now, is able to control a game in their favor in whichever way. You see, 35% on the faceoffs. Something that needs to be fixed and will be fixed at the NHL trade deadline by Bill Guerin, but still, when you're losing 44 faceoffs, you win 24. You're 2 for 6 on the power play. Obviously, it's a great opportunity. We're going to touch on that here in a moment as well. This game, the Wild managed to control their fate and get out of this one with a massive win. A game like this, a lot of teams would not be able to keep up. A lot of teams would not be able to get into a game like this where you're losing many, or, whatever percentage of your faceoffs, but also going out here and allowing 46 shots on net. They really locked it in here in this game and put the series for the Minnesota Wild 2-1 with the final game before a potential playoff matchup coming on March 8th, which this team will look very, very different by then, hopefully, and not too different, but there will be some new faces that will certainly help out this team, and it looks like right now, the way that this team played, that, like I said, the Olympic guys did not miss a beat. Matt Boldy, 4 points in this game, 2 goals, 2 assists, albeit 2 empty net goals. A goal is a goal. It does not matter, but the big thing out of this is the time on ice. These guys out there for 20-plus minutes, you need your guys like this in this specific game, whether it be Colorado, whether it be Dallas, whoever it would be right now. You need these guys out there for as long as possible. And our point getters on the offense, were really able to find that. So good to see Eriksson Ek up on that first line rather than Ryan Hartman, even though, regardless of who it may be, we still need another center, whatever given position you want. And the way that the defense looked as well. This was a big thing, and a big thing that I had in question coming into this game was how much would Quinn Hughes be used? How much would Brock Faber be used? We saw them heavily used with the Olympic team for Team USA, and I didn't think that we would have seen a 26-minute time on ice, a 25-minute time on ice for Brock Faber and Quinn Hughes. Brock Faber getting a very nice handful here, and at the end of the day, a +3 for him, a +1 for Hughes, a +2 for Middleton. Doesn't hurt to see that at all, and at the end of the day, it's something that we really want to see day in and day out. And of course, the goaltending, massive shout out to Filip Gustavsson, who did leave the game sick. Not a great thing to see. This guy, he seems to have zero luck with the illness side of things this season throughout his career. But 44 saves, 45 shots, 978 save percentage. For, that was the Michael Jordan flu game for Filip Gustavsson. And this was a phenomenal, phenomenal game from him. Jesper Wallstedt, he led in the goal. But he did not want to go in the butterfly after Filip Gustavsson threw up in the crease. So, can't blame him on that. At the end of the day, he came in. He did not want to go down to that butterfly. I don't think he wanted to be in the crease. So, take that with a grain of salt. That one goal on 2 shots, whatever it is, that completely disregard that. But Matt Boldy here in this game has been phenomenal. He's been phenomenal all season. And you look now, 62 points. We can add 4 more to that in 54 games played. He is a phenomenal, phenomenal player. And I think that he is one of the most underrated players on this team, if that is even possible to say. And just given his rankings, which I'll pull up here so you can actually see how good he is, especially on the special teams, especially on the scoring. The offense, he is 5th ranked in the NHL in goals with now 34, and that may climb up. I'm not sure about the actual goal total for the rest of the NHL, but he's elite. And the special teams tonight was one thing that I think we really need to take away from this, because given the scenario that they put themselves in, that being the Colorado Avalanche, where they took 3 penalties within the span of, less than a minute, 45 seconds. Very weird because, the rules, which would have been a 5-on-3 with an extra man in, where when the penalty did expire, Landeskog couldn't come out. But over that period that they played on this, we know who it was going to be. Eriksson Ek, Zuccarello, Hynes, Boldy, Kaprizov. You're looking at the time on ice here. This is a very good look on the power play. But when you kind of go outside of this to the power play too, there can be some questions. You're normally going to have on a power play regardless these guys out there really for like 2 minutes. But with that, this is certainly something that is a very positive sign because, like I said, and kind of going back to it, 2 power play goals on 6 attempts. You needed to get a power play goal. You could have converted probably 2 on that, but at the end of the day, getting one, it's a very good sign. One thing about this, though, and I will say it, and I was very mad about this during the game, the Colorado commentary, which I had to watch just based on regional blackouts and whatnot, being Canada, utterly ridiculous what they were talking about. Absolute nonsense. The commentator should have gone and changed his diaper, calling these dives, calling these flops, of course, may have been a little bit light, but anything to the face, anything to the head, you're going to notice it. Absolutely disgusting elbow from Gabe Landeskog and Eriksson Ek. Just ridiculous. So, ultimately, the game was deserved for them for commentating like that. Horrible, absolutely. I understand being biased. I'm biased here. But when it comes down to it, you're on national television. Take it easy, fellas. Take it easy. But like I said, at the end of the day, good power play here. Want to see more of that. You want to see another conversion, and they did it very good. But like we said here from Michael Russo, poor Wallstead comes in with a minute to go, ice cold, gives up the goal on the first shot. Looked like Gustavsson sprinted down the tunnel sick. He did, but also got sick in the crease, and like I said, you didn't really want to see Wallstead go down there, so you can't really blame him for that goal. But with that, right now, the standings currently stand at the Minnesota Wild climbing above the Dallas Stars. Once again, this was updated prior to, this game, or it hasn't updated yet, I should say. The Wild currently at 80 points. We're sitting 5 points behind the Colorado Avalanche. And like I've spoken about, this is one where you need to continue winning. Currently on this, a very good streak here coming into this. Now going against going against Dallas now, really in this competition of trying to climb up above Colorado, so you're getting a much easier playoff matchup. This is going to be an integral part of the schedule. And going to March 8th, when we play the Avalanche again, you need to get more wins. You need to get this energy up. You need to continue the way you're playing. So on March 8th, when you get to this game, the Avalanche are going to be scared that they don't want to fall. And whatever happens with them happens because, of course, the game differentials and whatnot, still a lot of stuff. A lot of time left to be able to happen. But right now, getting ahead of Colorado, already ahead of Dallas now. Once again, this is not updated. They find themselves in a very good spot. And the way these guys are playing right now, keep it going. Keep it going. That's the one thing as, just kind of a spectator at this point I can say. But I'm excited. This was a phenomenal sign going forward. A serious message was sent to the NHL here based on this Wild team not being a pre-Olympic fluke. This is a heads up to the players that this Wild team are targeting that they can go up against the Colorado Avalanche, currently the best team in the NHL, and really put on a show and emphasize that they're here. This is legit. This is not a fluke. And I think that way that this Wild team is playing, you're going to start to see a lot more players jump in here and want to join this team for what could be a historic run on this. But once again, a Quinn Hughes record again going up, with another point streak. So a phenomenal game. A lot more coming. We're going to have another video tomorrow breaking down some more trade reports that we got dropped tonight. So be sure to stick around for that. Hit the sub button if you haven't already. But that is all I have here in this video. If you want to see more post games, Let me know down below. We can do them in the lives, we can do videos, a lot of stuff. Bit of a late one here, but still some very exciting things coming. So be sure to hit that sub button. Let me know down below what you thought about it and how this game really is going to come up. Do you think the Wild need another center after this showing? Let me know. Why for yes and for no down in the comments below. But like I said, that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.